Have the remainder of the Mutos finally fallen under Godzilla's command? And is it possible that the remaining Mutos no longer pose a threat to the king of the monsters? Throughout the Monsterverse, Mutos have posed a significant threat not only to Godzilla, but all other Gojira. They are some of the only creatures that we know of who are able to kill a Gojira, even if they are not the ones to deliver the killing blow. This still makes them one of the most dangerous predators that can possibly challenge Godzilla. In King of the Monsters, however, we learned that at least one Muto is still alive, and at the end of the film, it bows to Godzilla after he reigns command from the false King Ghidorah. So then, who is this Muto, and does it mean that the remaining Mutos have sworn their allegiance to Godzilla? Well, today, Heralds of the Titans, let's explore the idea. The Muto in question has since been identified as a Queen Muto, and seems to have departed from the intentions of her more violent predecessors. The conflict between the Gojira and the Mutos can be traced all the way back to Muto Prime, and his bloodlust against the Gojira eons ago. Muto Prime was the ringleader of this revolt, and actually succeeded in killing at least one other Gojira by the name of Dagon. Though we don't currently know for certain if Muto Prime has more Gojira blood on his hands, it is likely that he does. The reason for this ancient conflict, though, is relatively simple. Muto larvae feed off of radioactivity and can siphon radioactive energy in order to grow to maturity before they eventually hatch. In the distant past, this meant that they could lay their eggs virtually anywhere on the planet, as the Earth used to be much more radioactive than it is the present day. And it is likely that the Mutos and the Gojira lived in relative peace. Dr. Sarazawa cites that it was 10 times more radioactive than it is today, and that this is what initially caused Titans to grow to these mammoth sizes. As the radiation levels began to dampen, however, the Mutos had to adapt and find new ways to protect the future of their species. This meant finding new radioactive hosts that could satiate their eggs. The most radioactive Titan of now, or any age, would be the Gojira, and the Mutos began to evolve specifically to feed off of the Gojira radioactivity. Because of their natural ability to absorb energy, they developed particular traits that allowed them to be parasitic to the Gojira, and this gave way to the dawn of this ancient conflict. Muto Prime began his assault on the remaining Gojira, killing Dagon in the process, and rallying more Mutos to the cause. But now, we come to the Muto Queen at the end of the King of the Monsters. She bows to Godzilla, and this seems to be for a few reasons with a few subsequent consequences that make this Muto special. First, we do not know if she is the last of the Muto species, but regardless of whether she is or not, she has been dormant presumably for hundreds of years. She never took part in the fight against Godzilla during G-Day, implying that she was either incapable or just not interested, likely being dormant. When Godzilla defeated the first pair of Mutos, he gained the respect of the other Titans, including whatever Mutos may have remained, whether that was just the Queen Muto or if there were others out there, and his defeat of the Mutos reaffirmed his ascendancy to the throne, as he succeeded where many others had failed. This served as a warning to any other surviving Mutos across the entire planet that Godzilla was now off limits, and he set an example of exactly what would happen if they attempted to stop him. The Queen Muto would have recognized this call, especially if she is the last of her kind and has no backup, and Godzilla's command would have stood until of course King Ghidorah arrived and claimed the crown, even if it was for a very short amount of time. He then unleashed the call of the Alpha and commanded all the Titans to begin ravaging the planet, and the Muto Queen seems to be obeying this call above all else, loyal to Ghidorah. She is not doing this because she's malicious, and personally, she never really had any reason to lay waste to humanity. The presence or absence of humans would not make a difference in her day-to-day life. She's just following the orders of the Alpha. The Queen Muto shows loyalty to the Alpha Titan, and she is submissive to whoever holds the crown of the king. The fact that the current king just happens to be a Gojira is an unfortunate coincidence that bars her from attempting to create more of her kind. When Godzilla then reclaims the title, the Muto again just is following the rule of the Alpha, and her motivation simply seems to be obey the call of the Alpha Titan. Godzilla has earned the crown, and even the respect of all remaining Muto. Even if she wanted to use Godzilla to be the host of more eggs, she knows that she is incapable of defeating him. He is now more powerful than any Gojira has ever been by far, and was able to fight off 2 Mutos at once and the Prime Muto. So if this queen attempted any coup against Godzilla, she would almost certainly perish, and she knows it. It implies that she is the last of her kind though, which is also a major contributing factor why she wouldn't attack Godzilla. She's incapable of reproducing in the first place, and thus falls in line with the rest of the Titans. The previous Mutos who attacked Godzilla were a mated pair, and they were attempting to survive. They only wanted to make sure that the Mutos continued to populate the world, and yet they were only able to rally these two. If there were more, then the queen might consider making a play for Godzilla's radioactivity, but we don't believe this is anywhere on the near horizon at all, and we do believe the war with the Mutos and Godzilla is over. Even if she had support, Godzilla quite literally has the following of the entire Titan kingdom, and if he were ever in danger, he has a plethora of allies who would immediately come to his aid. There is simply no way for the queen to make her move without completely being ripped apart by the Titan King, no matter how you look at it. We also note that there are other ways that she can ensure the safety and survival of her species, ones that don't involve attacking the king, and there are parts of the Earth which are still presumably radioactive, parts that could meet her needs. Even though the surface is no longer able to saturate the eggs, we do know there are regions beneath the crust that may be able to meet her needs. Within the Hollow Earth, if there are any other Mutos, this is her last chance. Even though this seems to be the domain of the Kongs, we get to see humans and Kong himself explore the Hollow Earth without any intervention by the Scar King or other Titanus Kongs. And in fact, the first other Kongs aren't present until the trailer for the new Empire. This means that this Queen Muto could certainly find a place down in the Hollow Earth that could meet her needs, and she no longer has the need to kill Godzilla. This could in fact where she has been for all this time, seeking out a place within the Hollow Earth that can meet her needs, or she is simply the last of her species, giving her an interesting parallel with Godzilla, as he too is the last of his kind. Perhaps she is forced to roam the Earth as a protector under Godzilla's rule, a fitting end for a brutal rivalry she respects and is now loyal to the king. As the last of their kind, it is now their job to maintain balance on the planet, the Muto Queen, and the King of the Monsters. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? And were you shocked to see a Muto at the end of King of the Monsters? What do you think is occurring with the Muto species? And is this queen the last of her kind? Is she loyal to Godzilla for a sake of preservation, or respect for the king? Thank you as always, my friends, for stopping by the channel today. Hit that subscribe button for more Titan lore, and have a great one.